today. Thank you. So let me read something to you really fast. And this is just the excerpt. This is just a snippet. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what the ship is built for. I'll say it again and let you think about all of the ships that you like to keep safe. I'll let you think about all of the ships that you like to keep safe. Your entrepreneurship, your relationship. Here we go. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Somebody drop that in the chat if you relate. Somebody drop that in the chat if you relate. I want to start by just sharing a story with you because we got a lot of game I want to give, but I just want to share a story. So this was about 2.5 years ago. It's 2.5 years ago. Y'all familiar with Brooklyn? Who's familiar with Brooklyn? Y'all know New York. Who's familiar with Brownsville, Brooklyn? Who's familiar with Brownsville, Brooklyn? Hold on, let me turn this off. Who's familiar with Brownsville, Brooklyn? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so there was a time, this whole organization called Bevo, Brownsville in, Violence Out. It was me and Big Mogul. One of our uncles, he does a lot of community service work. He's big in the community of stopping violence. Unfortunately, we're a community have to promote stopping violence, right? Unfortunately. Now, when you think about it, I went there to speak as a public, motivational, inspirational, professional speaker. I go there and I start speaking about time, space, and matter. Somebody drop time, space, and matter in the chat. Somebody drop time, space, and matter in the chat. Hold on, is my hold on real quick. Let me wipe my camera off. I think my camera giving me blurry right now. Give me a second. Jasmine, you're supposed to be on top of me with the YouTube. You know that.
You better spit on that camera.
Hey, what's up? What's going on with the camera, man? What's happening? Anyway, look, I can't let it stop me. Got to keep going. Maybe that's just my Wi-Fi or something. All right, cool. So time, space, and matter. So I'm in there and I'm speaking. I'm on the stage and I'm like, so yeah, what you do with your time in your space, it all matters. And I'm giving them this game. And then at the end, there's no real applause. There's no real applause. There's just people like, all right, okay, yeah. And in my mind, I was thinking like, wait, what? Hold on. Do you know what I just gave y'all? Like, are you? And then it hit me because Big Bo came to me, he's like, yo, bro, that information you gave was fire. But you do know who you were talking to, right? I said, yeah, I know who I was talking to. I'm talking to us, people like me, right? Like, let me know if you come from a melanated community, a community dominated with melanated people, or just people who consider themselves Black. Let me know. Let me know if you resonate with that. So I'm speaking about this, and then it dawned on me. I'm talking to people who are in an environment where their environment is telling them the opposite. Their environment is telling them to be for what's against them and against what's for them. So when I'm giving them information that's for them, they just might be against it because it's certified and it recognizes change. How many of us are against change? Let me know in the chat. So what I'm saying is this. When I'm going in, I'm speaking and I'm talking to these individuals, what's happening in their mind is they're seeking for something that they already know. They're seeking for something that they already want. They say, look, I just want the money. I got to pay bills. But think about it. We're trained to be for what's against us and against what's for us. How many of you know people who put their kid's name on the cable bill, on the internet? How many people, let me know, that could be you. You're probably the one doing it. And if it wasn't you, you probably was the one that they did it too. I know, you know, we did that in my family. My family had my brothers on some bills. And what happens? You grow up and before you even get a chance to utilize your credit is already shot. Before you can even take 2 steps forward, you're 2 steps behind. How many of y'all seen that video where it was like a viral video? This happened like 2 years ago, and they said everybody who went to a great public school or private school takes 2 steps forward. Everybody who has both of their parents in the house take 2 steps forward. Do y'all remember that video that went viral? And most of the melanated people was in the back, right? This is due to the environment. Some of us run home to watch the game. Oh, that's my team. That's my team. LeBron don't know you, brother. Oh, I'm going home to watch Bad Girls Club. I'm going home to watch Love and Hip Hop. Okay, you're going home to watch more ratchet violence. You're going home to watch more things that are against who you are becoming. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Because we're up against a system. Somebody drop system in the chat. I'm about to take us to church. I'm about to take us to the church for entrepreneurs. I'm about to take us to the kingdom hall for kings and queens. I'm about to take us to the temple for the triumphant. I'm getting ready to take us to the mosque for the mogul. Somebody say mindset in the chat. Somebody say mindset. So we're up against a system. How many of you know, how many of you have been in a system or have family who've been in a system? What do I mean by the system? I'm talking about the system that's trained to have you be for what's against you and against what's for you. I'm talking about standing on corners selling dope to your community when you're supposed to be building with them and connecting. Wait a minute, maybe I'm being too harsh right now. How many of you know those individuals? How many of you are those individuals? So let's be real here. We are up against a system. Why are we up against a system? Because everything in this world operates off of systems. And if you do not have a system, you fall victim to a system. Either you are a player in the game or you get played by the game. Your results will speak based upon your system. Okay, hold on real quick. I'm gonna turn this whiteboard on, and I'm actually gonna get on a whiteboard, and I'm gonna show y'all some things. Let me know if you follow me so far. So what I'm saying to you is, you are up against a system, and with this system, you are facing what we call time. Y'all see that? How many people y'all know who face time? Do you know why they call it FaceTime? Not the phone yet, not the phone. Don't get to that. I'm talking about when you're facing time. You're facing time because time is the only thing that you ever have. Let's just be real here. Every day that you think that you're living it up, living your best life. Every day you're actually one day closer to the day you would no longer exist. You are running out of time. Your job is to become more effective in less time. The longer it takes for you to get to where you want to be, the less time you have to enjoy it. Please understand what I'm saying. Please understand what I'm saying. Somebody drop in the chat systems. Somebody drop in the chat systems. So you are up against the system. Who here wants to beat the system? Do you want to beat the system? Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Are you tired of having negative conversations? Are you tired of being the person that's misunderstood? Are you tired of having commitments that you fall short on? Are you tired? If you are tired, put I'm tired in the chat. Don't put I'm tired in the chat if you're not tired. If you want to hold on to your limitations, you want to fight for them, you will get to keep them. Let me know in the chat. I need everybody active in the chat because I'm getting ready to go fast and you got to pick up all this information. I really want to make sure I'm talking to the right people, because when I was talking to the people in Bevo or the people at the Bevo event, they was like, the time and space, I don't know what you're talking about. It don't matter to me. The time and space don't matter. I remember my late dad. Unfortunately, some of y'all know him, but he passed away. This was last year, and he had made a joke about that. Right? He was joking about, whatever you was talking about up there. That time and space don't matter, because what matters to them is what they're dealing with, what they're going through. What matters to you is what you're dealing with, what you're going through. But I want to help you get through what you're going through. I want to help you see difficulty differently. Somebody put in the chat, I'm getting through what I'm going through. Somebody put into the chat, I'm getting through what I'm going through. Somebody put into the chat. Okay, time, space, and matter. Remember this. Drop time, space, and matter in the chat. Let's get right to it. Let me start sharing my screen. Let's get right to it, though. All right. Let me share on this whiteboard. So time, space, and matter. Y'all heard about be, do, have, right? Yeah, y'all know about be, do, have. Like the whole thing about you having what you have, right, is because you are who you are. You have what you have because you are who you are. You have what you have also because of the things that you know. So you're where you're at because of the things that you know, but you're not where you're at because of the things that you do not know. If y'all follow me, put follow in the chat. If y'all follow me, put mindset in the chat. This is where you need to start taking notes. This is where everything that happens in your life is starting to make sense of why you are where you are. And if you want to close the gap to where you are, to where you want to be, these are the things that need to take place. Right, as I mentioned before, I'm gonna move fast, so let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. All right, so be, do, have. The whole premise of be, do, have is if you want to have more, you must become more, right? If you want to be able to have the property, you must earn the right to have that experience, okay? You must earn the right to have the experience. So as I mentioned before, y'all can see my screen. Let me know in the chat if y'all can see my screen. Okay, so God created a system. So one of my mentors, he taught me this. He showed me this whole layout, and I took it and I said, okay, let me use this to demonstrate exactly where we are, but also add my own influence, right? And he loved what I'm doing, so he just gave me advice, right? So here's the advice that I'm going to give to you all. Inside of this space that you live in, right, there's something that exists called time. If this makes sense, put yes in the chat. Something that exists is called time. Okay? Now, there's something also that exists and it's called space. So what you do with your time in this space, and y'all already know what matters mean, right? Drop matter in the chat. What does matter mean? So when you think about the scientific definition in a simplified version, it's something that is physical, something that you relate to, something that is in shape and form in existence, right? It's something that is in existence. So what you do with your time inside of this space that you have matters. All right. Oh, hopefully we're getting breakthroughs already. What you do with the time that you have in the space that you're at matters. Okay, I understand. Once again, like I said before, I know we think that we're living, but every day is a day closer to the final day. The greatest day of your life is your birthday. This is why people keep revisiting that day. Oh, it's my birthday, but you only get one birthday. No disrespect to you. I know you can celebrate whatever you want, but you only get one day that you are born. Okay, and this is why people keep revisiting that, because that is the most powerful day. But since that day, you are inevitably going towards a death, which will be a transition. So if that's the case, why am I alive? Well, God put a system together. Somebody drop system in the chat again, right? And the system around this is time, space, and matter, right? The parameters around time, space, and matter is be, do, have, right? Be, do, have. So who you are being, what you are doing, what you are having, these matter. So who are you being within the time that you have right now, like inside this class? Who you being? Are you on the phone? Are you being distracted? Did you say before you got into this call, yeah, I'm just gonna get on because I know Big Mogul wants me to get on, Mindset Mogul wants me to get on, Brooklyn Business, they want me to get, but are you getting on for you? right? Who are you being in this moment? Are you being a person that's studious? Did you wake up early enough so that way you can get things done ahead of time so you could just focus on this particular segment? Or are you doing a bunch of other stuff while you're listening in? Okay. What are you doing in the space? You may not have the biggest house. You may not have the best car. You may not have the best environment. But what are you doing in the space that you already have? I want you to write it down in the chat. What are you actually doing? So you all right now, you're taking your time and being a person that says, I want to get to another level. In order to get to another level, you have to do things differently. So now you're doing something differently. When you do things differently, you get different results. So therefore, you start to have. So you now have to start to realize what you are being matters, what you are doing matters, what you are having matters. Everything matters. Why is that? Because you're existing. So everything you do matters. So the purpose, right? So we have the parameters to the platform. So once again, these platforms, time, space, and matter. These are three separate platforms. That's why we call it the 3D world, the three-dimensional world. These are the three components of this world. So when you master your time, when you master being able to create anything from anywhere, which is your space, then things start to show up of relevance to you. Things start to matter. When you create something, it matters more. This is why most of us, we get jobs because we create the opportunity. So it matters in the beginning. But once we get the job, we start falling off and being out of integrity. We lack discipline and consistency because we're no longer in control of that creation. Now we're just living in somebody else's creation. So you have to realize your purpose. Okay, somebody drop purpose in the chat. The purpose for you being in time is for what? Identity. Who are you being creates your identity. So the identity that you give yourself also creates your being. The being also creates the time. So what am I saying? I'm saying everything is a system. Everything works with each other. Everything has duality. So if you identify as an introvert, you're going to start being an introvert with the time that you have. And if you are an introvert with the time that you have, you're going to be in a space where you're doing things that only serve you. And that's not the highest spiritual realm, right? So identity. What is the purpose of me doing? What's the purpose of the space? What's the purpose of my space? Like when you get a house, what's your purpose of your house? Like, why do you want a nicer house? Do you want a nicer house just so you can brag to people? Or you want a nicer house because it can help you increase your activity? Oops, hold on. It helps you increase your activity. Dang, I done spelled it all wrong. My bad, y'all. Wow. All right, so it helps you increase your activity, right? Like when you got a nice space, you have a nice space. What is it about the space? The space makes you feel comfortable, right? It makes you feel like you could have peace and you could do the things you need to do. Why? Because that matters. All of that matters. And that activity, the way you identify with yourself produces your activity. And the way that you create, the way that you engage, the way that you communicate, the way that you build creates the things that you have, which would be your property. Most of you want to get property and you want to be real estate investors or you want to own storage facilities. You have to be the person that earns the right to have the experience. You have to identify as this individual and start doing the things that cause you to have the property. That means you have to increase your capacity. You have to expand your ability, your skill set. You have to actually increase your intensity. What do I mean by that? Okay, so to fill in the gap to where you're at, to where you want to be, you have to have intentionality, ingenuity, opportunity. Okay, if y'all follow, put mindset in the chat. You're following, put mindset in the chat. So now the key to increasing your identity. Okay, you might say to yourself, I don't know how to become somebody different. Well, you have to expand your capacity. You have to expand your capacity of what you can do. So if you could do 15 push-ups, you have to do 20 push-ups now. If you could study for 30 minutes, you have to study for an hour now. Or you could do it in another way. If you could clean your house in an hour, you got to clean your house now in 30 minutes, right? You have to expand your capacity to do more. Some of y'all want to get more and do less. Let me know. Put in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to do more. If you want to get more and do less. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to get more and do less. Before you can get more and do less, you have to do more in order to get more. Somebody put, I'm doing more. You have to do more in order to get more. Okay, I don't know how it's working. It's so hard. I don't have enough time. It's too expensive. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know where to start. You have to start increasing your abilities, acquiring new skills. You have to acquire new skills. You are in the business of acquisition. Every day you accumulate time. Every day you accumulate relationship. Either it goes up or it goes down, but you are in need of accumulation. You accumulate food. You accumulate clothes. You accumulate, right? You get days, you get years, you get minutes on your life, but you need to create a new skill set. You must find a way to make things work. It's either going to work or it's going to work. This is where that phrase came from, because you have to understand with ingenuity, I'm gonna find a way to make it work. It's going to work or it's going to work. Somebody drop in the chat, is going to work. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're going through, I want you to understand it is going to work. But you have to have a new skill set, or at least expand your current abilities and skill set. When you increase your current abilities and skill set, it brings you what? What does it bring you? Let me see if y'all paying attention. If you increase your skill set and ability, what does it bring you? It brings you opportunity. It brings you opportunity. That's where you get the property from. So if you want to be a person that earns the right to be the individual that creates the property or acquires the property, you have to be the person that is utilizing ingenuity and saying, I'm increasing my ability to get things done. No matter what, I'm not making excuses. No excuses, only solutions. Somebody drop no excuses, only solutions in the chat. You have to increase your skill set. The way to make more money is to increase your skill set. The way to have more powerful relationships is to increase your skill set. Drop the word skill in the chat. This is why I keep saying mindset, tool set, asset. The mindset is the new skill set. Utilizing your mind to say, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to put pieces together to get an outcome, to get that asset. That is the goal. Your mindset is the new skill set. You must work on your mind more than you work on anything else, because I'm telling you, when it comes to getting the property is the easiest thing. You got to deal with all the headaches. Now, if you got tenants, or if you got toilets, you got trash, you got all these different things that's going on, you got taxes, you got things that you never even thought that will come up, that's coming up. But you have to have the ingenuity, the mindset around how to create the opportunity that gives you what you want. Time, space, and matter. What you do with your time matters. So what are you doing with your time? Let's break this down in a more fundamental way where you can see. Let's break this down in a fundamental way in which you can see. Let's break this down in a fundamental way in which you can see. What are you doing with time, space, and matter? So most of y'all know about the 4 levels of impact, right? Most of y'all know about the 4 levels of impact. Drop it in the chat if you know about the 4 levels of impact. Drop it in the chat if you don't know. See, the thing about this is you have to start desiring. Somebody understand the word desire, right? You have to start desiring. When I break down root words, right? Because we need to start studying the dictionary. We need to start studying the dictionary. Hold on, let me put this back up here. Now, the root word in identity is identify, right? Ident, right? So where are you making a dent at in the world? Are you making a dent at being a great public speaker? Are you making a dent at being the person that is creating beautiful partnerships? Are you a relationship coach? Are you the next self-storage king or queen? Are you making the dent there? Okay, are you doing that? Your desires will fuel your activity because you are already doing 100% of what you can do right now. So in order for you to get more, you must have a desire to do more. You must have a desire first to become more. So when you do more, You will have more, right? But the difference between most people in, well, successful people, the 1% and the 99% is people are more intentional about distractions. Drop the word distractions in the chat. People are more intentional about distractions. So when I think about the 4 levels of impact, when I think about the 4 levels of impact, the first level is what level? Implementation, right? And I know I go over this a lot because this is very important. Implementation. The first level is implementation. Okay? Implementation. The second level is unification. Third level is communication. Fourth level is imagination. Right? As I mentioned before, if you look at these levels up here, look at the root words and things, so that way when you speak, your language creates your reality. Your language produces a thought that produces the belief. You believe either you can or you can't. Either way, you're right. And then from that belief, you take action, and then that action produces a result. So your language creates a reality. So you must be mindful of the way that you're talking to yourself and the way that you're talking to others, the way that you see yourself. Okay? So when we talk about the root word in activity, the root word is act. Who are you acting as? Because when you go to work, you're acting. But what if you can get paid to be you? So I'm going to teach you how to get paid to be who you are. I get paid to be me. Big Mogul gets paid to be him. I remember when I planted a seed, I said, bro, you're going to be the vice president of this company. Me, I'm not a vice president. I'm just a street boy. I'm a corner boy. I ain't none of, bro, you're the vice president, bro. You are amazing. You are this. And now guess what? We stand here as people who are really serving and providing impact. And just from a little plant, I mean, a little seed that was planted, we both now get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And now we bring in our brother, big Mr. Brooklyn Business, and now he is like literally showing up in another way that you all get to see. And I'm showing you all because we realize the levels of impact, and we start to understand. If I want to have property, I must become a what? A pro. You must do everything at the pro level. See what they say about pros. Amateurs do it until they get it right. Pros do it until they can't get it wrong. You must become a pro. Are you studying that dictionary? Are you actually becoming the person that earns the right to have the experience? Are you just preaching, or are you doing the things that you know you need to do? So when we look at the 4 levels of value, right? Imagination is at the highest level of value. This is the highest level of value. And the reason why this is the highest level of value, because everything is created in the mind. Everything is created in the mind first. Literally everything that's created that around you, your phone, your laptop, your Zoom, your clothes, even down to you going to work or you coming onto this call. Before you got onto this call, you thought about going on to the call. Before you came into this mentorship, you prayed, you asked God, you said, send me a sign. You said, please put me in a community, an environment of love, connectivity, and financial prosperity. And now you have it. But what are you going to do with it? How are you going to act? How are you going to identify? How are you going to be a pro? When we ask you to show up and serve yourself and be able to go out there and serve other people, are you doing it? Are you implementing it? So let's go back to the top. The highest level is imagination. You have to create it from your mind. Somebody say, I'm creating it from my mind. Somebody say, I'm creating it from my mind. So when you think about imagination, that's the person that creates the idea. The next level is communication. Communication. So imagination, you get paid the most. When you create the ideas, you get paid the most. You have the most impact, and you get the most time to yourself. You get the most time back. So people who are at the highest level, like myself, at the imagination, I still got levels to get to, but at the highest level right now, at the imagination, I have most of my time to just do whatever I want to do. I got 80% of my time to enjoy myself. So I'm only working 20% of my time. Everybody's familiar with the 80-20 rule, right? That 20% of your efforts produce 80% of the work. And that's a whole nother breakdown. So communication gets paid a little bit less than the person who creates the idea, but still has a lot of money. And they also still create opportunity where they get to only spend 20% of their time working and 80% of their time enjoying themselves. Think about actors and actresses, right? They don't have a 9 to 5. They get to make a movie, get $1 million, and they get to do whatever else they want to do. Or think about entertainers, right? They get to come up, they get to communicate the ideas, but then they get to live the life that they truly want to live. That's where you want to be, okay? This range, this is anywhere from, I'm talking about making $250,000. This is 250K. Somebody drop the type of money you want in the chat. How much money you want to make? How much money you want to collect? How much money you want to collect in the chat? Like, let me know how much money you want to collect a month, a day, a year. You put it, you specify, but be specific. So the base of a communicator, 250,000. That's light. I make 250,000 every half quarter, right? I mean, every quarter you make 250,000. I'm not bragging, but what I'm saying is that you could do it too. What I'm also saying is that, do you know I used to only make 50,000? I used to do graphics for Netflix and Roku, and I only made 50,000. That's how much I made on paper. How much I took home? Like 35. So to be standing here talking to you like this is amazing. I'm just showing you that you could do the same thing by utilizing these principles. You don't got to listen to me. I'm not the most flashy. Yeah, we built the community, but guess what? I'm the GM. I'm the one that put the things together. I'm the one that make the community work. Big Mogul came to me with an idea. First of all, I planted a seed in his head. I said, bro, we need to create an opportunity that we get paid off of on time, overtime for the rest of our lives. And this is because we were doing credit at this time. So the on time, overtime, that's how I used that. I flipped it. And I said, we need to be doing that. We need to be making it. He said, yo, you know what? I got an idea. I'm going to create a course. He created a course. We created a partnership with somebody who filmed it. Shout out to Taya. Taya said, let's make it a movie. Taya turned it into a movie. We put the movie in theaters. We sold out the theaters. And then we also sold the mentorship. So we sold out the theaters. Think about it. All of that came just from having imagination. So you don't have to know the end play. You just got to know what you want to do. So from there, I said, all right, cool. We need to have a community around this. And we created a community. All right. So now the unification level, this is where it started to get murky. The unification level, this is the level of management. So you might be a manager, you might be helping people do tasks, you might be cold calling and doing other things. Well, not cold calling, but managing people who do cold calling, different other things like that. So you might be the person who is the unifier, the manager. And that's okay, that's good, because the manager, the unifier, makes a little bit more money than the person who implements the idea, but they still capped. Somebody put cap in the chat. The reason why you are upset with your job, with most of y'all, some of y'all like your jobs, which is dope, is because you are capped. Nobody likes to be capped, okay? It's why when you finally got a relationship, you say, oh man, I'm finally free, because you were capped. So stop capping. No more capping. Put no more capping in the chat. No more capping, right? And the implementation level, this is the lowest level of value. The lowest level of value is the implementation level. This level gets paid the least amount of money. I'm talking about anywhere, let's just say 80K, anywhere under 80K. I know some of y'all probably like 80K, that's lit. I'm telling y'all, 80K ain't that much money. Especially nowadays, when you look at NBA players, they come into the league making 10 million. How you make 10 million as a 19-year-old and you over here 35, 45, and you making 80K? Okay, tell me how that makes sense. All right, anyway, so implementation level is the lowest level of value. This is the value, this is the level where you will see people being overworked and underpaid. This is not saying you shouldn't identify with this. If you do identify with this, let's change it. Drop a 1 in the chat if you identify with being the implementer. The implementer is the person that does the work of the person that creates the idea. So when you think about Uber, Netflix, Amazon, right? So when you think about Uber, the person who created Uber used the imagination, and the person who created the Uber used imagination, and this person is up here smiling because they're not doing much work, right? They just communicated an idea that unified a bunch of people who wanted to make money, and now all the people who want to make money driving Uber is now driving Uber. But guess what? When it first started with Uber, it was okay. You know, the pricing was, the payout was good because, you know, not a lot of people driving. But now the payout for Uber is down. The payout for Uber is down, right? So now, because there's so many people driving, but guess what? The payout for the person who created the idea is even bigger. Well, wait a minute, hold on. So it's even bigger. So understanding which level are you at and understanding the skills that is needed to go to the next level. All right, real quick. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about systems. This is a system. This blueprint that I'm showing you right here is a system. See, the system is this. You have to be able to implement, no matter where you are, unless you was born with a silver spoon, unless you had millions of dollars at birth, like our family members will have, you know, growing up, like, then it changes. But if you're like myself, you're like Big Mogul, like Mr. Brooklyn Business, then you understand that you have to implement things before you can get to that next level. So you have to be able to do work, right? You have to be able to do work. This is the implementation, right? This is utilizing your muscles over time. So being that you're utilizing a physical skill, this is a limited resource. Your muscles are a limited resource, right? Implementation. So you only can get but so much done at the implementation level. So this is why you probably want raises, but your boss is like, yo, I can't give you that much. You only just using your muscles. Like, there's nothing I can do. Now, you could take that and you could see difficulty differently. You could see negatives as notifications, and you could say, you know what, I need to move up on the list, which is what people do. They climb the corporate ladder and they say, I need to become a manager. So you now have to exemplify skills of unifying people. Management. But if you're showing up to work late, you're not going to be a manager. Am I making this up or no? If you're showing up to work late, you're not going to be a manager. You have to show the work on time. You have to show how you can manage people. You have to have your documents, your emails in order. You have to be up to date on your things. So everybody write this in your notes. Make sure you're writing this down. You have to be a manager, a great manager of time, a great manager of your skill, a great manager of your production. So you have to produce. You have to produce. No matter how you feel about it, you have to produce. The biggest thing, this is going to get you the most money the fastest, is being able to communicate. When I was doing at Bevo, right? When I was at Bevo giving this presentation, and I was talking about communicating, strategic partnerships, they was like, yo, I don't even talk to my baby mother. I don't even talk to my baby father. I don't even communicate with my family. Well, I'm going to communicate with somebody else for? You need to get out of your own way and communicate. Okay? Communication is going to be your number one skill that you need regardless in life, whether you're making money or you're just communicating to your child. All right? Communication. And then obviously, creation. God put you on this earth. If you're a child of God, drop one in the chat. Drop God in the chat. God put you on this earth to create. You must be a creator. If you're not creating, you're just doing what? Following somebody else's creation. You didn't create Zoom, but you're on Zoom. You didn't create the whiteboard, but you're following somebody else's whiteboard. So you didn't create the books that you're reading somebody else's book. You didn't create the clothes that you're wearing somebody else's clothes. You are implementing. And everybody has already agreed that this is the lowest level of value. This is why you pay. This is how much do you tip your Uber Eats delivery? $2, $3. How much do you pay your server? $10, $15, 10%, 20%. Because you have already agreed that this is the lowest level of value. So we must look forward to acquiring these new skills in order to take us to the next level. Inside of this mentorship, we've been giving you that roadmap. We've been communicating with you. We've been giving you tools to create your new life. But it's all about systems. See, the thing about this is serving a system. When some of y'all have great dreams, but I don't want you to forget that it's about creating systems. So when we talk about SaaS, right? Y'all know what SaaS is in the chat? Where all my SaaS people at? Where all my SaaS people at? So usually SaaS is software as a service, but I want you to understand systems. Oops, I want you to understand systems as a service. This is why that free credit repair hits, right? Because it's a system as a service. This is the highest selling businesses, system as a service. When you're talking about Amazon, that's a system as a service. When you're talking about Netflix, it's a system as a service. When you're talking about Uber, system as a service. When you talk about Apple, it's a system as a service. You don't want to just be selling your services. If you're just selling your services, you are in the implementation level. You are going to get the lowest level of value because you're utilizing your muscles. Your muscles is a limited resource. At some point, you will wear out. You want to create something that sells itself on time, over time. You must create a system. A system stands for what? Saving yourself significant time, money, and energy. So, for example, if you're a beautician or if you are a person who is selling beauty product, I mean, you create a beauty product, so you do hair, right? You are at the implementation level if you're doing the hair. Now, you could aspire to get your own business, and then now all you're doing is just working in your business and you're just unifying people, right? Or you could just become more effective in less time and make product business, y'all, products. You must sell. Whether you like selling or not, money is a big importance to your life. You must sell. So I would say products, right? So the person who's the beautician, they used to do the hair and they used to do maybe the esthetician used to do the facial, but now since they created products, which is a system, they just communicate the idea on the bottles. They give you multiple bottles, right? Just for the sake of time, let's just pretend these are all bottles and these are some type of products, some type of products, whether it's hair products, beauty products, they're beauty products. And now on the products, it communicates how to use it. And then now people go and buy it and they use step one, they use step two, they use step three. No longer do I have to implement the idea of the business. I now pass it on to the customer implements it. All I'm doing is selling the products. Saving yourself significant time and money. Systems, day and night. God created humans, right? Day and night. What comes after day? Night. What comes after night? Day. It's just a system. All about systems, y'all. Somebody drop systems in the chat. So you want to have a system. The purpose of your system is to create beautiful experiences. I'm getting ready to close up. The purpose of your systems are to create beautiful experiences. Let me know. Are y'all falling asleep or what? I think y'all falling asleep. So the purpose of you creating these systems is to have a beautiful experience for all parties involved, right? When the person has to go to the beautician or that person who's creating that beauty for them, that look, what happens is they have to now pay $200, $400, $600. I know how much that stuff costs, right? I just schedule my facial. That's $200. So now, if you wanted to do it by yourself, it easily becomes $20, $50, right? So everybody involved is having a beautiful experience. The person that gets the nice routine, they get to be able to have that and have a beautiful face and look good. But I want you to understand the beautiful experiences are created with two major components. Somebody dropped powerful relationships and powerful perspectives in the chat. Powerful relationships, powerful perspectives. That's what this is about. You're looking to have a beautiful experience. This is why you want to go on vacation. This is why you want to have a better, healthy, happier relationship with your significant other. This is why you want to have the life that you truly want to live, because you want to have a beautiful experience. The longer you take to acquire this beautiful experience, the less time you get to enjoy. So time is ticking on you. So understanding these two components, right? The powerful relationships. So the key to having beautiful experiences is powerful relationships and perspectives. When you think about relationships, there's two types of skill sets that you want to have when it comes to relationship. Two types. Your sales and leadership will help you create powerful relationships. Why? When you're talking to your significant other, you are either going to be a sales person or a leadership person. You're going to play both roles. It's not going to be one or the other. You're going to play both roles. It's sometimes you're going to sell, and when you are selling, you are guiding. You guide the person that is the leader to the sell. You guide the leader to the sell. If you want to go to the park with your significant other, and you know that they're not a park person, but this is something that's important to you. First of all, you should have done your business love language, your personal love language to make sure that they are those people. But let's just say they're not right now. It's your role to guide them to lead that decision. Now, what do I mean by that? See, sales is all about guiding. Sales is guiding. All you're doing is guiding. It's still leadership. Sales is still leadership. It's a component of leadership, but it's guiding. It's leading. Now, leadership is making a decision. It's decision making. Decision making. Somebody drop decision making in the chat. You have to have a new standard. Remember, identify as a person that can make decisions now. And you have to act on that. You have to no longer be indecisive. How many of you are too indecisive? The longer you take to decide, the worse off you could be. Like if a train was coming at your way and you were in the middle of the tracks, I know this is really hypothetical, but if it was coming and the train was coming in 10 seconds to hit you, right? Or just to get past and you're in that middle and you took 10 seconds longer than what the train was coming, you get hit, you're dead, you're gone, right? So decision making is very important. I know that was a weird analogy, but y'all get the point. So decision making. So the salesperson is the person that leads them to the sale. So if I'm selling you on why you should transform your life because you're going to create beautiful experiences and you can now get paid to be who you are, I'm talking about turn your annual income into monthly income, when you now get to be the person that earns the right to have the experiences of having multiple streams of income and cash flow coming to you all from places and spaces that you didn't even imagine, and you have abundance. It's now your decision to make if you want to join. If you want to say this Mailbox Millionaire Academy is that place that I'm going to do this at. If you believe that, somebody say I believe in the chat. So can I get 10 more minutes of your time? If I can get 10 more minutes, let me know in the chat. So it's your decision making. Okay, cool. You join the community. You're in a Mailbox Millionaire Elite. You need to now make another decision. Are you going to operate at your highest level? You need to operate at your highest level. So everywhere you go, you need to be guiding the sell. So if you are, like I mentioned before, you want your significant other to be able to take you to the park or go to the park with you. What do? You must lead them to making a decision. And sometimes you have to give them what they want. Listen to what they want, then provide them what they need. So sales is also what? Listening. How many of you like to listen? Now, y'all want a man to lead, but you don't listen to him when he leads, right? You have to listen. Guiding sales is listening to what people want and having them make a decision. Leadership is being the person that leads by example. Am I just making stuff up, coming up here and saying, well, I was able to buy my time back and I was able to get my freedom, and I didn't do that, and I'm selling you on something I didn't do? No, I led by example. I was the first one to be able to do that in my family, to buy my time back. to be able to get my freedom, to be able to grow my mind and have my mindset see perspectives differently, because this is all about your environment. When you sell people, you must sell them in an environment. When you lead people, you must lead them to an environment. Everybody drop environment in the chat. This is all about environment. Now, what do I mean by that? Because your powerful perspective depends on what you see. The root word in see, in fact, it's not even the root word. This is more like the original word in see is theon, right? This is a Greek word, theon. Now, what that means is seek. Now, seek means to look for. So you are getting what you look for. So everybody, the things that you have in your life is because you looked for it. So are you understanding that what you could accomplish, you just got to look for it? Now, what do I mean by looking for? Well, it means communication. Now, how many of you know people who all they do is just look for negatives? And that's why their life is negative. If you do know that, put a 1 in the chat. So now we turn into what you see, right? So your perspective is your perspective, spectate, you're looking, you're watching. So every each watch, each look, each perspective, each expectation. So everything that you do matters. Each thing that you watch matters. Each thing that you look for matters. Why? Because of this fundamental principle. You seek out what you want, and what you seek out, you see out. So whatever you see frequently becomes your frequency. You tune into certain things and you will turn into those things. You turn into what you tune into. This is all, this has nothing to do with me personally. This is God. God created this. So when you talk about say, the original word for say is sekon. This is to speak or to tell. When you think about the word tell, what does it sound like? Tell. Like you're telling a tale. What is a tale? A story. You have to seek out what you want your story to be. Identify, activity, property. Who do you need to be? What do you need to do to become the person that earns the right to have the experience? Number one skill that you need besides sales in leadership is communication. Because without communication, you cannot sell, you cannot have leadership. Somebody drop communicate in the chat. There's 2 types of communication: interpretation and expression. So interpretation is how you perceive, how you preceive it. So not just receiving it, how you think about you receiving it. How many of you listen to people, but while you're listening to them, you're really just ready to reply versus just allowing yourself to listen to them? See, now this depends on the tone. The tone is basically the way that people understand your conviction. The tone is how people interpret what you said to them. If I say to you, yeah, you're not going to get this done, you might feel a certain way. But if I say, yeah, you're not going to get this done, you might feel a different way because of tone. If I said something in an angry tone, you're going to take it and interpret it as me being angry. I could just be that type of person who just talking like that, right? So body language is also important, okay? Expression is you being able to talk about it, convey your message. How many of you feel like what you feel is hard to express? So if what you feel is hard to express, you have to work on these things. You have to build this communication. You have to identify and increase your capacity to communicate in a way to be heard, understood, because everybody wants to feel loved, appreciated, heard, felt, and seen. So it's your job to make sure that you are the one that's expressing yourself so that way you get heard. It's not up to the other person to interpret. It's up to you. Now, you also have to know that it's also up to you to interpret. What? That didn't make sense. Well, it does make sense. If you're the one that's controlling the narrative of your story, then you have to have both sides of it. What you see and what you say, because when you watch what you say, right, you can change it. Like when you stop having negative self-talk, you can change it. Somebody put change in the chat, but we're so afraid of change. Why? I'm quite sure the change could be way better than what we got right now. Is it possible that what we could be living, the life we could be living, is available to us? Is it possible that all the money that we put into the chat that we want to collect, is it possible to collect it? I think that it is. And if it is, why not see it that way? If you change what you say, you change what you see. How many people you know been saying the same thing, so they've been seeing the same? How many people you know they've been saying the same stuff, so they see the same stuff? They say that they see the same thing, so they say the same stuff. They never been out the community. They never really traveled. They just the same person. You travel, you went off to college, you did this, you came back, they were still in the same place. Okay, so interpretation. For context, this is all about creating a character. You must become the character that you deserve to be. Now, that's going to happen naturally. People are going to like you. People are going to love you. You're going to be that character you deserve to be. So if you want to be a person that desires something greater, you must desire to have a greater character, right? The craziest thing about this all is your environment, right? Your environment. This is all about becoming an attractive character. If you're an attractive character, you can sell more. If you're an attractive character, people will follow you. If you're an attractive character, people will listen to you. You must become an attractive character. Everybody put attractive character in the chat. I don't have time to go over how to become an attractive character. You will learn more of that within inside the mentorship if you like to stay with the mentorship. But one thing I want to say is the environment. Because you can communicate an idea like I did with time, space, and matter in the wrong environment. And guess what? They cannot interpret it the way that I would love for them to, but I have to be the one to express it to them in ways that they can interpret. So it's about the environment. When you look at the environment, each day you have an opportunity to sell. Each day you have an opportunity to see things differently. Each day you have an opportunity to be great. Every day is a good day for a great day. You could see difficulty differently. You could become more effective in less time. You could study. You could be the person that earns the right to have the experience. Every day, you could do something to change, transform your. What does this kind of remind you of? Let me just add this value here. Let's add this. Is it this day or is it this day? Which day are you going to change? What does that remind you of? This reminds you of a clock because time. See, that everything is about timing. You're inside of this mentorship because of your timing. You're ready to go to another level. If you're ready to go to another level, put I'm ready in the chat. You need an environment. When you're selling, you need an environment. You don't just sell Starbucks coffee on a corner and hope that you're going to sell. You open up a brick and mortar and you open up Starbucks and people come in and they buy because you have to create something. You don't need to create brick and mortars, but you have to have a website where people can find you digitally. You need to create an environment. Somebody put environment in chat. Your perspective, the way you see things, your environment will change your perspective and shape your perspective before you change it. If you plant a seed in a field of no trees, before you know it, you see one tree. But the environment transformed that seed into a tree. We're looking to be that environment that's transformed your seed into fruits of your labor. And then before you know it, you start growing more trees, more opportunities. And then now you change the environment. You see that? You see it when the fruits start dropping and you start planting more seeds and you get your family involved, you get your friends or you meet new friends and you create and build strategic partnerships, you now change the environment. Your environment is the key to your success. Your environment. You need an environment that is going to allow you to be the best version of yourself. So you better run. You better run to that environment like your life depends on it. Because I'm telling you right now, it does. As you look at all of these ticks right here, this is your life and time is ticking. You are running out of time. You are running out of time. Go back to this. Let's go back to this board and wrap up. Now, thank y'all for allowing me that extra time right there. You are running out of time. So who are you being What are you doing? What do you want to have? Who are you being? What are you doing? What do you want to have? What are you doing, right? With the space that you have? Who are you being in the time that you have? What are you doing that matters? Are you just serving yourself going to your 9 to 5? Or are you serving other people like your employer is and hiring people and giving you opportunity and providing jobs so that way you can help your family? See, think about it. You want a salary raise and you might get, $80,000, but that employer is paying 10 other people $80,000. And then some of them getting 200,000. That could be you, but you have to change your identity. You can't be the same person. If you're willing to change and you're willing to beat the system and build your own system so that way you can close the gap from where you're at to where you want to be, you want to operate in your purpose of divine light and make sure that you are using the platforms that God gave you and you understand the parameters of your life, which is be, do, have. Let me know right now if you're ready in the chat. Let me know right now because I'm telling you, if you don't listen to me, listen to yourself. Everything that I explained, you already know. I didn't say anything that you didn't know. I just put it in a place that you might not have seen. And that's due to the environment. If you wasn't in this environment, you would have never gotten this information. You would have never gotten information from last night in any of the last 30 days. It is the environment that gives you the opportunity for you to be able to be the person that has intentionality, ingenuity to close the gap from where you're at to where you want to be. This is why time and space matter. Everything you do matters. Why are you playing short? Let me put my camera back on. Because I don't know. I ain't get to see the chat. I don't know if y'all believe everything you do matters or not. Put my camera on. Every single thing you do matters. I want to close with a guided meditation. Real quick before I close, how many of y'all, I still see my video skipping, it's lagging. Hold on. How many of y'all got the Becoming More Effective in Less Time book? The primary focus is to become more effective in less time. The primary pathway is creating strategic partnerships, and the primary result is multiple streams of impact that lead to multiple streams of income. I'm not saying that just to say it. You can just tell, like, these awards don't come out of nowhere. It's not about the awards. I could award myself. But what I'm saying to you is when you show up for you, other people show out and show up for you. Make sense? Let me know if it makes sense. Let me know if it makes sense. So I want to close with a guided meditation. Let me drop this link to the book. If you do not have Becoming More Effective in Less Time, and you, most importantly, if you haven't, read it. Let this be a thing that you refer back to time and time out. So that way you can be the person that gets paid to be who you are. You don't have to worry about being bound by the clock. Time is not on your side anyway. You might as well utilize your time to the best of your ability. All right. So I'm going to drop this in the chat. And then I'm going to do a guided meditation with you all because I got to show y'all that vibe. I don't know if y'all had a guided meditation with me before, but every time we do guided meditations, it's powerful. All right. So that's what I want to do as we close out. Can I get some music? Let me see if I can get some music. Was this powerful for y'all or no? Maybe I was just talking and you probably was already just doing laundry or something. Maybe that's what was going on, but let me know. Can I get some feedback? Can I understand how I'm serving you all? Because I said I want to lead y'all to beat the system. I want to lead you to beat the system. The first system you have to beat is conquering who you are now. You have to become somebody greater than who you are now. You already operate in a system, but now you have to take it up to another level with intentionality, ingenuity, so you can get those opportunities you deserve. So at this moment, I would love for everybody to close their eyes. We're going to do a guided meditation. If you do have to leave, I know some of y'all got work and meetings, go ahead and leave. I don't want to hold you hostage. You gave me extra time. I appreciate that. I just want to really like offer this opportunity to do a guided meditation with everybody. I want you to breathe Inhale deeply until your lungs are at capacity. And I want you to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly release. Notice how your body feels a little bit lighter. I want you to breathe. Inhale deeply till your lungs are at capacity. Now I want you to slowly release through your mouth and push the remaining air out through your nostril. I invite you and I encourage you to close your eyes if you're in a safe space. If you're driving, don't worry about closing your eyes. But if you are in a safe space, close your eyes and really just get present to something. Inside of this space where you're closing your eyes, you can still see. Why is that? Because you see with your mind's eye. Your eyes are just for looking. You can see with your mind. So who are you seeing yourself to be? So I want you to see everything that's around you before you close your eyes. I want you to see it in your mind. That TV, the laptop, maybe the phone, any type of device, the chair, the walls, the painting, the desk. And I want you to have it disappear all one by one until you're in this space of nothingness, where you're surrounded by all white space. Feel that cool breeze flowing through the hairs on your body. Know that you are in a safe, encouraging space. This space is called the quantum space. This is the space that's created everything that already exists and that will exist. Great ideas are manifested from this quantum space. I want you to now look off into the distance of this white space, and I want you to see this image, and the image is blurry until you get closer and closer and closer. What is that image? The image is of you and who you could be. What does it look like? But now we're about to show you what it feels like. When you look at the picture, you notice a door. You walk into the door, and on the other side of that door, this paradise, your dream home, your dream lifestyle, your family, your friends, your dream scenario. And as you're looking around at amazement at all of these things that you once thought was imaginary has now imaged itself in the present, and you can see it, you can touch it, you can smell it, and it's beautiful, it's glorious. What is it? How does it feel? What does it feel like to you to see everything that you've already wanted come to life? I know that feels good. As you notice footsteps, because you hear these sounds, you also turn around and see these shoes that you've always wanted. Beautiful shoes. You see the clothes that you would love to have. And then you notice this face that looks so familiar. And that face is your face. This is your higher self. What is that conversation like with you and your higher self? As you're having this conversation with your higher self, there's someone pulling at your legs. When you look down, there's nobody there. When you look at the other side, there's no one around. But you hear this little voice laughing. And as you're searching for, you and your higher self are looking, you notice off in the distance, this small child running around playing, having fun. And you're laughing and smiling because you know you used to be a small child running and laughing and playing. And as that child runs up to you, you look into that child's face, and that is your younger self. That's you. As you might feel emotional, as you might feel some type of feelings towards what is taking place, looking at your younger self and your higher self, what do you feel? What do you notice is coming up for you? As you're having this conversation and you're seeing and you're playing with your younger self and we're talking to your higher self, there's this other person that knocks at the door and then they just walk right in. When they walk right in, it's the version of you that you do not want to be. Some of you have already probably been this version, but it's the version of you that you don't want to be. And then somebody else comes in the door, and it's the version of you that no longer wants to be, that you no longer wants to be. And you're having a conversation with all of these different people. The person that you no longer want to be, and the person that you could be that is the person that you do not want to be. The way that they're treating everyone else is unsettling. How does that make you feel? As someone walks over and they pick up the child and they say, "Thank you for protecting my child," to you and to your higher self. And then they look at the other versions and they walk off. What is that message? Something powerful there, something emotional. As you're having this conversation with all of you, you start to see things from your perspective of your higher self looking at everyone else. What messages are you getting? What information are you downloading? In which ways are you hearing the conversation develop? Notice the ways that the person that you do not want to be speaks. Notice how they want to keep you safe. Notice how these things are happening. But your higher self seems to be just a different version of you all. What does it feel like? As your other versions start to disappear and they disappear in thin air, and as you are looking at your current self as your higher version, what conversation is being had? What takeaways, what downloads are you getting? I'm going to leave you for 30 seconds with your higher self, just so you can have this conversation in private. As your perspective transforms back into seeing it as your current self, looking at your higher self, what is being said by your higher self? What do you need to do to become the attractive character, to be in the environment that serves your growth? What do you need to do to become a person that earns the right to have the experience of living in that state of gratitude, that state of beautiful experiences that your higher self is experiencing? Who do you need to be? Who do you need to identify as? What type of actions do you need to take to create the property, the opportunity to live the life that you always wanted to live, to become more effective in less time, to enjoy the time that you do have? As this conversation comes to an end, your higher self gives you a hug and tells you that they love you, and you're embracing this emotional moment. And as you're holding this higher self tightly, you can smell them. You can feel their heart beating. You can feel that they're alive. And as they disappear, you are left there by yourself. Do you feel encouraged? Do you feel better? Do you feel like you can accomplish anything? So as everything else around you, you start to see that this is all yours. You already have everything. Who do you need to be to make it real? When you feel, you make it real. As everything around you, your favorite places inside of your dream home, your favorite environment, all of these things start to disappear one by one until you're back in this white space of nothingness, holding that image. And when you're holding that image, what image do you see of yourself now? Which image do you see of yourself now? Remember what that parent said to you when they picked up their child. They said, "Thank you for taking care of my child." That was your parent. You've been changing so much they didn't even recognize you. Changed so much that the people around you, that people that was used to you, don't even recognize you. You become somebody brand new. That's where your true power is. As this meditation, everything that's inside of the white space starts to transform back into the space that you were in. And that's that seat that you're in, that room, those paintings, those walls, those devices that you see. The meditation comes to an end. And there's a sense of gratitude. Just breathe. I invite you all to open your eyes again and come back. But if you need a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, take your time. At this moment, once again, if you do have to leave, please leave. I do want to open up this opportunity to give tremendous value. And the way that I do that is by connecting with individuals on a higher level. The higher level is a spiritual realm. As we showed you in that ladder, the higher that ladder is, the more spiritual you need to be. It's no more operating just for yourself. It's operating for the greater good of humanity. I know they make rich people look like scums. They make rich people look like they did dirty tactics. They make rich people look bad. But I'm telling you, the 1%, higher spiritual beings. I want to know what anybody got from that presentation earlier, or what they got from this meditation. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for becoming more effective in less time. If you know that you are running out of time, if you know that you don't have time to get rich slow, if you know that time is ticking and you cannot build wealth slow, you must become more effective in less time. I'm not selling you on a book. I'm selling you on a result of your life, so that way you become the person that you said that you always wanted to be. And the only way you can do that is through transformation. You cannot get a different result staying the same. You already know. Einstein said insanity, is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result, which is something that we like to transform out of. We want to become somebody different so we get different results. And the results that we want to get paid to be who we are. We want to have powerful relationships, healthy, happy relationships, and be the best versions of ourselves and leave a legacy for our family. So with that being said, I know Zell, you had your hand up. I'll bring you up. Can we bring Zell up? Can we bring Zell up? And look, don't get afraid to be vulnerable, y'all. Like I know this is the first time I did some of this with you all, but raise your hand, be comfortable, because this is your last accountability call. And now, if you do, this doesn't have to be your last. You can actually stay with us. We're giving an opportunity to stay with us. And then the accountability call is, it will be a different style of call. It will be more focused on getting work done, accelerating your results. But this right here, I wanted to show y'all the power of guided meditation and then break down that powerful stuff on the board. What's up, Zell? How you feeling? Hold up. Hold on. All right.
Good morning. I'm feeling good. Actually, I raised my hand for something else.
Okay, yeah. Whatever you raise your hand for is fine.
Okay. Well, this is something to tell you. I don't know if if you guys have noticed that Kana she's been kind of MIA in some of the classes, and when she's camera off and not speaking, and that's not Kana. So last night on the call, I texted her and asked her where was she and how she was doing. She texted me back and said, I'm not doing good. So I told her, hey, I'm here if you need me, if you want to talk, call me. She called me after the call. I was on the phone with her about 45, 50 minutes. And, she's going through some things. I don't want to put her business out there. She's just going through some things. And I told her, I said, you need to be on the call in the morning. And she said, I don't know if I can make it. I said, well, if you don't make it, do you mind if I let them know that someone needs to reach out to you? And she said, please. So I'm not you or Sunshine. I talked to her, did my best, but she's going through some things. She really needs somebody. So somebody needs to reach out to her ASAP.
That's the power of environment. Thank you for that, Zell. I do appreciate you for standing up for Kana. I did notice that Kana was not on the calls like that. We do reach out to people, so I'll definitely make sure that we reach out to Kana because it's very important that we keep each other's spirits high. As I mentioned, this is all spiritual. So thank you for that, Zell. Can we send some love to Zell? Because Zell didn't have to do that. Zell didn't have to come and talk about that, but she made it a point to make sure that we all have Kana's back. We appreciate you for that, Zell. Can we have everybody come off of mute real quick and just send some love to Zell? But also, let's clap it up in the spirit for Kana as well, because Kana will be the first one up here clapping and snapping it up.
Love that, Zell. Love that, Zell. Love that queen.
Thank you, Auntie Zell. Thank you for letting me
That's what we're
know.
here for.
I'll reach out to
for
her as
looking
well.
out.
Thank
Sending you much
Make sure she's good. Thank you,
Thank you so
Zell.
much, Zell.
Love you, Kana.
Thank you. Gorgeous.
Much love,
Major,
Kana.
Zell, major.
Well done.
Zell, you a vessel,
Appreciate
queen.
you.
You a vessel. You a vessel, queen.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys.
Absolutely.
Kana
Thank you so much,
sending you
Zell.
so much love, Kana.
We appreciate you for that 100%. So once again, this is about environment, y'all. This is all about environment. I know we went over time today. Hey, look, I told you, okay, get off the call if you needed to, but I wanted to give tremendous value, and hopefully y'all got that. Well, I know I gave you value. Hopefully you take that and you do something with it. We do have another hand up. Who we got up there? Naima. What's up, Naima? Naima, what's up? How you feeling?
I ain't seen you. I miss seeing your face. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You like seeing my face? I missed your face, but I've been hearing you and I've been seeing you, so I've been, off the camera. But thank you. I'll show up some more.
Thank you. I appreciate that because we need you.
Absolutely.
So for me, the guided meditation, it was different this time around. I've done it with you a few times and I didn't cry this time. Simply, my younger self was holding on to me, and this is what I got from it. But I was simply just letting her know, like, we're good now. I'm okay. And she was looking at me and I was looking at her, and she let me go because I'm okay. We're okay now. That's what I got from it. The presentation, what you presented, I took a lot away from that. I took away understanding the importance of the systems you have in place, why, just the whole breakdown you gave us explaining the step ladder. This is what you need. This is why you need it. This is how you need it. This is what you should use it for. Ultimately, you want to become more effective in less time. And you want to do it in a way where you get all your time and your freedom back. So that's what I got from that,
Absolutely. I love that you picked that up too, because that whole part where the parent comes and says, thank you for taking care of my child, that is that separation part where you finally can let go of all the things that has happened to you in the past and move forward as this new being. So the fact that you picked that up, that's tremendous. Great job on that. Great job. And of course, the breakdown, once again, becoming more effective in less time, you have the whole ladder, you have that information. And like I mean before, becoming more effective in less time is your primary goal, whether you believe it or not. Unfortunately, most people just don't realize it, but it is. This is why you would order online versus going to the store, right? This is why you would order food versus cooking the food. It's because you want to be more effective in less time. This is why you drive to work instead of walking. It's why you phone calls instead of going to somebody's house and talking, right? This is why we do these things. Thank you, Naima. We appreciate you, goddess.
Thank
You
you.
always
Thank
a
you.
pillar. First of all, can we have everybody unmute for Naima? Naima is always one of the people who says, let's make sure we transform our minds. Like that right there is big. It's cool to give you game to go run plays, but we often see a lot more people get more jammed up because they didn't take care of the person first, the inside. So I want to bring everybody off of mute, snap it up and clap it up for you, Naima, because you are a champion of that. And we love you. We appreciate you, goddess.
We love you, Naima. Thank you for being a pillar in
Good
this
job,
community.
Naima.
Thank you for
That is
always
We love
saying
you.
great
I
You know
love
and
I
you,
inspiring
appreciate
Naima.
things
you.
to us.
You are
Thank
You
you so much.
always
And you're an
on it.
gorgeous,
You
awesome
always on
accountability
it.
partner. I
Thank you,
love
thank
you.
you, thank you.
amazing.
You are
Thank
so
you,
Love you,
amazing,
sis.
Naima.
Naima.
Yes.
I love
Yes,
y'all.
you are.
Coach, last thing, that ladder, do you have that? Can we have that,
Y'all want that? Okay, let me see. I can get that to
please?
you.
Or I mean,
Yeah.
can you package that and like drop a
Yeah.
link for us because we need that. That's
That's
amazing.
free. I'm giving that to y'all for free. I ain't charging y'all for none of that. I got that and I'll drop it inside Telegram if it allows me to.
Okay.
I'll
Thank
drop
you.
it
I
if
really need
it
it.
allows me to.
I would like to print it out and kind of like put it on my vision board.
Okay.
Oh, me
Got you.
too. That's a good
Thank you.
idea.
Oh, wait, y'all know where y'all also have it at too, inside that PDF of the accountability program. It's also inside that PDF. So I'll send it out. I'll make sure y'all get that, and then I'll send it out.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll drop it in Telegram.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naima.
You're welcome. I'll be looking out for us when I can.
You
Do what you
Always.
gotta do.
Love you.
do.
All
Yeah.
right, y'all. So I appreciate each and every one of you. If nobody has anything else, if you don't have anything you want to add value to, I would recommend that you do. I would say get comfortable with stepping outside of your comfort zone, because this space that we are creating for you, we want to create leaders. This is all about leadership, becoming an attractive character, being the person that can go out there and transform your life. But if you never step up and do anything differently, you stay with the cameras off behind the scene, I get it. You're gonna make incremental movements. That's cool. But if you want to get things done faster and have a bigger impact, you must show up for yourself. All right. With that being said, I am done today. I'm sending everybody love and beautiful energy. I gotta go get my haircut. I got an appointment. Gotta go do that. Your boy a little scruffy out here. That's why I got a hat on. Don't judge me. Don't judge me, okay? Look, I'm sending y'all all love and beautiful energy. Today is Friday. It's Winning Friday. I want you to go out there and win and be the best version of yourself. Much love. We got the work group session still at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's make sure we are there and make sure we get the help we need. So please reach out. Please connect. Do not forget to connect with each other. That is the basis of what we're teaching, strategic partnerships, okay? All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Sending y'all love and beautiful energy. Peace.
Everyone have a great Friday.
Let's everybody come off for mute. Everybody come off for mute. Snap it up, clap it up, go out with a bang. Let's do it.
Have a great day, guys. Don't fold
Let's go,
Friday,
let's
as
go, let's
Jasmine
go.
said.
King
Friday.
Oh,
Bruce.
yeah.
Don't
Today.
fold
Encontra
Friday,
todos.
y'all.
Have a wonderful
Family,
day.
have an amazing day, family.
Beautiful,
Have a great
amazing.
day,
Happy Money
everybody.
Friday, Money Day.
Yeah.
Money
All
Day.
right, let's do that.
Money,
Hi,
money,
Moya.
money.
Absolutely.
Every day is
Hey,
money day.
Queen. Hi,
Every day is money
Jasmine.
That's
Love
day.
right.
y'all, love y'all.
Hey,
Don't
Angie.
fold Friday. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Full Friday. I
Hey,
like
Queen
that,
Queen
Jazz.
Wanda.
Brian.
Let's get it.
Hey, Queen
Love y'all.
Brion.
Hi,
It's a
buddy.
great day to have a
Mr.
greater
E.
day. Let's
Queen
go.
Kiana.
Yes, you're rocking it here.
Our energy, our
Royalty.
income. Go get
Queen
that bag.
Trina. King Brian.